Years ago, I craved a quiet life, a place to escape the chaos of the world. My name's Ethan, an environmental engineer who'd grown tired of the city's noise and clutter. In 2018, I found a listing for a 10-acre plot in the rolling hills of northern Vermont, a few hours from Burlington. It was perfect, surrounded by dense forest, with a crystal-clear stream cutting through it and a dirt road leading to my property line. That land wasn't just dirt and trees. It was my refuge, my chance to control my own corner of the world. The deed, an old-school meets and bounds document, described the boundaries with poetic precision: a gnarled maple, a moss-covered boulder, and the stream itself. It granted me full ownership of the land, the water, and the road the only way in or out. I signed the papers with a sense of triumph, built a modest cabin, and thought I'd found my peace. But peace, it turns out, was the last thing I'd get. Enter Vanessa, a slick real estate developer with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She rolled up to my property one crisp autumn morning in 2020, stepping out of a gleaming white SUV. She introduced herself with a handshake that felt more like a challenge, announcing her grand plan for a community called Riverside Haven on the land next to mine. My stream, she said, would be the centerpiece of her project. My road, she assumed, would be her access point. I stood there, gripping my coffee mug, as she talked about partnership and community, her words dripping with entitlement. I told her I'd need to check with my lawyer, Owen, but she just nodded, already hearing what she wanted. A week later, an email arrived, full of flowery nonsense about how we'd agreed to work together. I hadn't agreed to anything. I fired back a polite but firm clarification. No response. That should have been my first warning. Vanessa didn't stop. Her construction trucks started rumbling down my road, their tires chewing up the gravel I'd laid myself. Then came the signs of her takeover surveyors staking out my land, a glossy banner proclaiming, "Riverside Haven, your new beginning." One sunny afternoon, I found a crowd on my property, sipping wine and clapping as Vanessa held a microphone, claiming my road as her gift to the future residents. I was livid, my heart pounding as I recorded her every word. "Ethan," she called out, spotting me, her voice syrupy with fake warmth. "Thank you for sharing your road." I didn't respond. I just kept filming, my hands steady but my blood boiling. She was rewriting reality, painting me as the generous neighbor while stealing what was mine. I knew then she wasn't just bold, she was delusional. I wasn't about to let her walk all over me. I drove to the hardware store, bought a heavy steel gate, and bolted it across the road with a private property, no trespassing sign. It felt good, like reclaiming a piece of myself. But Vanessa wasn't fazed. A few days later, I woke to an eerie Silencino construction noise, no trucks. My gate was gone, replaced by a city notice taped to a post, "Unlawful barrier on public access easement. Removed. Fine, $3,000. Vanessa had weaponized the local bureaucracy, using her influence with the homeowners association she'd formed to push her agenda. It wasn't just audacious, it was insidious. Then came a certified letter from her law firm, demanding I stop interfering, attached with a forged email supposedly from me, agreeing to her plans. My own words, twisted into a lie. It wasn't just my land she was after, it was my integrity. I called Owen, my lawyer, barely containing my rage. We pored over the deed again, and there it was, clear as day. All water rights and access thereto granted to the property owner. The stream, Vanessa's precious centerpiece, was mine. She'd overlooked it in her greed, and that was her fatal mistake. I was done playing defense. But before I could act, I met Sarah, a single mom who'd bought into Vanessa's lies. She approached me one evening, her eyes red from crying, holding a crumpled coffee cup. She'd poured her life savings into Riverside Haven, believing Vanessa's promises of a peaceful community. Sarah shared a recording she'd made of Vanessa yelling over the phone, "I don't care about the stream. Sell those houses. He's just an engineer, won't stop us." My heart raced. This wasn't just evidence, it was dynamite. Then Vanessa went too far. One morning, I spotted a truck unloading barrels by the stream. Two men in grimy overalls dumped a foul, oily liquid into the water, turning it black. The stench hit me like a punch, chemicals, toxic and unmistakable. I grabbed my phone, recording every second. The truck's logo, the men's faces, the rainbow sheen spreading across my stream. Vanessa was trying to frame me, the environmental engineer, for polluting my own land. It was desperate, stupid, and criminal. I sent the video to Owen, who called back, stunned. "She's done, Ethan. This is a felony." The sheriff and EPA arrived within hours, taking water samples and tracking down the men, who confessed Vanessa had paid them in cash. I wasn't stopping there. I had Sarah's recording, my video, the deed, and the forged email. I also got a list of the 110 families who'd put deposits on Vanessa's homes, thanks to a contact in the town's zoning office. With Owen's help, I compiled everything onto USB drives and sent them to every family, along with a letter. "I'm not your enemy. Vanessa lied to you. Here's the truth." The response was chaos. Families lined up outside Vanessa's office, demanding refunds. They formed their own HOA, hired a fierce lawyer, and prepared a class action lawsuit. Vanessa's polished facade crumbled, her hair disheveled, her voice shrill as she tried to spin more lies. But the evidence was undeniable. The trial in 2021 was a spectacle. The courtroom buzzed with angry residents, their dreams shattered by Vanessa's greed. Sarah took the stand, her voice steady as she played the recording of Vanessa's callous words. I followed, presenting the deed, the forged email, and the video of the stream's destruction. The courtroom fell silent as the footage played, my bitter laugh echoing faintly in the background. Vanessa's lawyer tried to paint me as the villain, but then Owen dropped the final bomb. An email from Vanessa's own lawyer, sent days after our first meeting, warning her that I owned the stream and road. "Proceeding is fraud," it read. Vanessa's face went pale, her tears drying up as the judge's gavel loomed. The verdict was brutal. Vanessa was ordered to pay millions in damages, fines, and legal fees. Her company collapsed, her reputation shredded. I got my land back, my stream restored by the EPA. But the victory felt heavy. I met Sarah for coffee afterward, and she apologized, tears in her eyes. I told her she was the hero her recording had sparked it all. To the residents, I offered access to the road and stream for a symbolic $1 a year, building a real community based on trust. Standing by the stream, watching it run clear again, I felt a hard-earned peace. But it wasn't the quiet I'd imagined years ago. It was a peace forged in battle, a reminder that sometimes you have to fight for what's yours. Now, I'm curious, what would you have done? Would you have played it safe, kept quiet, and let Vanessa steamroll you? Or would you have fought back harder, maybe gone public sooner? Was I too harsh, shutting down her project and exposing her to 110 furious families? Or did she get exactly what she deserved? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're with me, and subscribe for more stories about standing up to the Vanessas of the world. Let's talk. What's your move?